All right, parts Miata is coming apart. When I had already took off the fender on that side, that one was salvageable. Tire lights and the rear garnish panel that covers up all the fuel lines in the trunk. So, gotta take out the BCs and everything in the rear. But I realized the only thing supporting the transmission right now is a block of wood because there's no trans mounts underneath of it. So if it wasn't for the block of wood, the only thing holding it would be the drive shaft. So I got to get underneath, disconnect the drive shaft. The whole thing is coming apart anyways. I still have to pop off the wheels, but wheels, coils. I might not take the rear subframe, but I am going to steal the front subframe, considering the engine's already out of it. I'm probably going to have to end up pulling the exhaust, which is fine. It's a stock Miata exhaust, so it probably doesn't hurt to just have it. But the front subframe's going to come out. I still got to strip apart majority of the interior. A lot of it's actually in pretty good condition. It just needs a really deep clean because there's a million fucking spiders living in this thing. And mice got in it at some point. So the wiring is probably fucking chopped in this thing. But it doesn't matter anyways because after I get done pulling all the parts I want, like trunk's going to come off, the rear garnish panel's going to come off. Might keep the rear bumper. It's not horrible. Obviously, wheels, coilovers. Everything that's on the car that I want is coming off. Doors are coming off as spare extra doors. Basically, it's going to be a full-blown chassis. It's just going to be a shell when it's all said and done. And then I'm going to scrap this one. And then the other Miata that I have, I'm going to bring over here because that one's got the blown motor. So the only reason why I got all this shit was because for this motor's good. So this is the 1.6. I blew up a 1.8. But it's better, in my opinion, to have the 1.6 because I can boost the 1.6, which I'm already in talks with somebody and try to set up a trade deal for maybe a set of wheels for a fucking turbo kit. Not entirely sure if that's going to come through yet. So right now we have the NA 1.6. And after I get done stripping all this off, this car is going to go to the junkyard just as a fucked up shell. And yeah, the other Miata will come here. And then everything I pull off will go into this. And we'll have a spare transmission, spare fucking drive shaft, differentials, axles, you name it. This car is basically going to be giving us everything minus an engine and a front clip. That fender was actually good, but everything else fucking mangled. So all around, good parts car. But as far as the chassis goes, she's totaled. All right, so I'm about 2 hours in. I got the rear wheels off, the seats out, exhaust off, everything out of the interior that I wanted. I gotta still take off this boof-ass fucking wheel. I'm gonna steal the gauge cluster and this part right here. I would take the dash, but it is cracked. It's not a bad crack, but I don't really see it being worth taking. So especially considering the other Miata is a 98, so I have a completely different dash and gauge cluster. I really don't want to go through the hassle of doing a dash swap and a whole entire cluster swap. Well, not cluster swap, but you know what I mean, the whole entire interior if I don't have to. I do want to clean up these seats though, because I want to say these are of a Mazda speed. I've never seen them before, but they look OEM and has red stitching. So unless they're reupholstered, pretty sure these are stock seats out of a fucking boosted Miata. Doors are off, coilovers in the rear are out. I couldn't get these lug nuts off because I don't have the tool. So I ended up using this socket, and that worked to get the rears off, the majority of the ones in the front. But I'm going to come back tomorrow with the actual right socket, pop these off, and then, do the subframe. So the problem I'm running into right now that I don't know what I'm going to do is normally you'd have an engine, right? And then you'd be able to put the car in gear. So with the car in gear, I could, lock the drive shaft to undo the nuts for the drive shaft in the rear. That way I could pop it out of the trans. Well, the problem is there's no way I could put it in gear. So I need to find a way to be able to lock the drive shaft from spinning. That way I could break all of them loose. Unless I could get lucky with a 14 millimeter socket on the electric ratchet, maybe just like manhandle the fucking drive shaft and hope that there's not enough like tightening force, tension on the bolt. That way it just comes off. Because if that happens, I could just slide the fucking drive shaft out and then, take that off, undo the transmission brace. If it's not already undone, I haven't even looked at it. And then drop the transmission. Because once the trans is out, the drive shaft is out, probably going to steal the diff. I'm leaving this shit in here. The axles, and these are fucking toasted anyways. But if I really want to get drilled and slotted rotors, they're like 40, 50, 60 bucks, something like that. So don't really give a fuck about any of this shit. I mean, none of the arms are aftermarket anyways. It was just the coilovers in here that I wanted. So yeah, I'm gonna leave all this assembled. So really drive shaft and transmission and differential, and that's gonna be just about it, minus obviously the front subframe. But I'm gonna leave the rear bumper. That thing's thrashed. I decided I don't want it because I'm not gonna run a rear bumper anyways, or if I do, I'm gonna run a bash bar, not the OEM one. Plus I have an OEM one anyways, so I don't really need that. Trying to think what else I could take. I could take this, but I want to say that, yeah, there's no rear window. There's no point in taking that. That's fucking trash. The carpet's absolutely fucking thrashed. I would take it, but there's so much mouse shit in it. I really don't want to deal with it. I might take this top part though, because they're actually, I wouldn't say they're hard to find, but this one, everything in this car is in really good condition. To be honest with you, this might have been a really, really nice car at one point, because like even these little side panels right here, like it was real carbon. It wasn't like a carbon overlay plastic eBay piece of shit. It was like an actual fucking carbon step panel. So I want to believe at one point in time this might have been a nice car, and it just happened to get into a bad crash, and you know, owner just gave up on it and fucking left it. But yeah, I mean, I'll see what I do. Maybe I'll strip this shit out just to fucking get it gone. I don't need the wiring harness or the clutch master. Don't really need any of that stuff, so all that shit looks bad. Actually, is that little clutch sock? Maybe take that home and wash it. So I'll put that right here. I'll take that. I don't need the fucking brake booster or none of that shit. Yeah, that's all looking like hot garbage. Don't want that. But yeah, that's the update. All right, so by some miracle, I was able to undo all the drive shaft bolts with the impact. I got it to fit. So instead of worrying about putting the car in gear, since obviously I can't because there's no motor, the impact had enough torque to just fucking break all the nuts off. Well, I didn't break them, but like unloosen them and fucking so I could get the bolts out. So now I'm trying to do the transmission brace, get all of that off. I'm thinking that's the reason why the drive shafts, because I tried to fucking hit it off, but it wouldn't fucking slop out. So I'm thinking the brace has to go before the fucking drive shaft goes. But I'm dealing with my first dirt nasty low Miata problem. I forgot that this thing was fucking dumped. If you look at the bolt, she's pretty fucking scraped up right there. Yeah, the head of it is absolutely trashed. So I'm gonna try to slip a 15 on it. Maybe like not round it out, but like try to fucking make it a 14 again. That way I can slap the impact on and just fucking get that one out, just like how I did the one next to it. But yeah, there's quite a few more bolts I gotta get off, or to get the trans brace off. And then after the trans brace is off, hopefully I can pull the drive shaft. I'm gonna yeah. All right, well, the transmission's out. I made a vital mistake though. I did not drain the trans prior to pulling it. So oh yeah, that's fucked. So yeah, the hobby shop's probably not gonna be happy. But the good thing is the trans is no longer in the car. So that's one less thing I gotta do. So now I might just leave the diff. Honestly, it's a 1.6 diff and it's open. I really don't give a fuck. If I really need another one, I'll get another one. But I don't want to lay in this in order to get that out. Same with the drive shaft. I'm saying all that right now. I'm probably going to fucking do it tomorrow anyways. But now the subframe is officially ready to come out. So I can undo the top hat bolts and drop the subframe. And then after that, this car could go to the junkyard, because I got everything out of it that I wanted. I ended up taking that fucking top garnish too. I'm gonna leave the carpet because fuck all that. I don't even want to deal with there's so much mouse shit and spiders and shit in here. But yeah, just about everything that you could take that was good off of this thing is taken off. Doors, wheels, seats, transmission, drive shaft, fucking diff is still in there. I got a fender, got some other stuff too. Got like OEM garnishes. But all around, for 3 hours worth of work, it no longer looks like a car.